The dirt poor honor student slapped away the air's black titanium credit card. Don't insult me with your filthy money. Even poorer, I bent down, picked the card up from the floor, and carefully handed it back to Lucas. Lucas looked me over twice and said, "Get Jingxue to keep the card and I'll bankroll you, too." Afraid I might actually take it, Ivy Vance accepted the card on the spot. From that day on, both Ivy and I were given full ride patronage by the Sterlings. The difference was, I got mine by groveling at Lucas's feet. Ivy got hers while Lucas knelt at hers. Years later Ivy left to pursue an advanced degree abroad, and I entered the workforce. Lucas pulled me into his bed and made me his stand-in. Then Ivy came home. He said, "Jingxue minds that you and I were together, go find yourself a boyfriend." I said, "All right." Before we go on, hit subscribe and drop a comment telling us where you're listening. The day Ivy returned early, no one knew. That night Lucas was still in bed with me, working me late into the dark. I fell asleep curled against his chest. At dawn a message pinged his phone. He jackknifed it upright and yanked the duvet clean off. I was naked, the sudden chill raising goosebumps. Half asleep, I mumbled, "What is it?" "Jingshua's back. Get up, tidy this place, erase every trace of you in this room, hurry, before she notices." He hopped into his pants as he barked the order. I woke completely, sat up, and saw the raw bruises on my skin, not a stitch on me. I realized I looked exactly like the other woman, even though they weren't even dating. "Move. I'm picking her up, be gone before we get back." He fastened his watch, strode out without another glance, and left the door open behind him. When the house looked almost untouched again, I walked out, calm, quiet. But before long Lucas called. "Jingxue just got back and she's dying for the dishes you used to make. Come over and cook." I hesitated a beat. "Okay." The housekeeper let me in. Ivy lol. D on the sofa in elegant loungewear, all pristine beauty. "Sophie, long time no see, you haven't changed a bit," she drawled in greeting. I smiled and nodded. "You're even prettier." Lucas appeared. "Sophie, get to the kitchen, Jingxue is starving." Ivy shifted over so Lucas could sit beside her. "Ugh, the thing I missed most overseas was your cooking. I can finally taste it again." Lucas teased, "If you'd come home earlier you could have eaten it every day." "Humph, I was studying, and you just wanted to drag me back." They bickered and giggled while I bustled in the kitchen, exactly like all those old times, fixing their meal. After dinner Ivy went upstairs. Lucas had kept the room next to his for her. On her way she asked, "My room's still the ground floor staff quarters, right?" I said yes, and mentioned I had a place of my own outside. A few days later, when I was leaving after another cooking shift, Lucas stopped me. "Jingxue found out about us, she minds. Sophie, get a boyfriend so she'll stop worrying." I stood there a long moment, then answered, "All right. I'll try my best to find one." Ivy walked straight into Sterling Star, the Sterling's flagship subsidiary run by Lucas. The deputy manager promotion I'd schemed years for landed in my lap. She parachuted in above me as manager. I took a small team to brief her in her office. Flipping through a file, Ivy suddenly said, "Sophie, go brew me a coffee." The other two exchanged startled looks, wondering why the new manager was sending the deputy manager on assistant errands. I simply nodded. "Sure. I've always known exactly what slot I filled in that patronage deal, extra, expendable, the tag-along girl trotting behind them, ready to run errands." Even now that we're all grown, Ivy's attitude hasn't shifted, and I still accept these crumbs without protest. On Friday Lucas said Ivy had just come back and everyone should get together, told me to show up early. When I reached the private dining room, I accidentally overheard my name. "Lucas, you and Sophie are really done, just like that?" one of his frat brothers asked. "What else? Watch your mouths, don't bring it up in front of Jingxue later." Lucas shrugged. "TSK, our boy's devoted, been stuck on Ivy since high school. Sophie was just the stand-in to fool the family, so the seat stays warm for Ivy. Honestly, Sophie's not half bad, pretty, polished, none of that broke mouse vibe anymore, and she dotes on you. You point, she jumps. You sure you can ditch that?" Lucas chuckled. "No choice, Ivy's the only moon in my sky. Sophie's fine for killing time. Now that Ivy's back, everything else gets swept out. I'm just waiting for Ivy to officially say yes." The guys toasted and cracked jokes about his epic loyalty. "Sophie, why hover at the door? Come in," Ivy's voice sounded behind me. Everyone inside looked toward the entrance. Seeing me, they remembered their loose talk and coughed in awkward unison. For once Lucas looked briefly rattled, but when Ivy walked up to him he recovered fast. He kicked the guy next to him to make space for her. I took a seat in the far corner. Hey, Sophie, way over there. Sit closer, Ivy called brightly. I smiled and shook my head. I'm good here. The room thawed after a minute, drinks poured, and someone proposed a party game. Ivy, rusty from years abroad, lost several rounds. Lucas drank every penalty for her. Somebody joked, last time she got wasted you should have seen. Luckily Sophie, he slammed to a stop. The air went thin for a second before the chatter rolled on. Coming out of the restroom I caught familiar voices at the fire exit stairwell. Ugh, listening to you and Sophie sound so cozy with your friends really bugs me. Ivy pouted. Sophie hung around us for years, of course the guys know her. If you'd just say yes to me already, none of this would matter. Didn't you see them shipping us tonight? Lucas sighed. I'm still auditioning you. Ivy gave a flirty gr. I slipped past without a sound. Later Lucas cornered me in the hallway and opened with, how's the boyfriend hunt going? Impatience lined his handsome face, sure I was stalling and screwing up his chances with Ivy. I really am looking. Don't worry, I'll stay out of your way, I said softly. The way he looked at me seemed tinged with a flicker of guilt again. Ahem, but when you pick a boyfriend you should still check if he's a good fit. That weekend I had dinner with Derek. We'd met through a company partnership. He was marketing director at another firm, nice looking and tall, and he'd been pursuing me. I hadn't been interested at first, but I sighed softly to myself, rallied my energy, tried to talk and learn about him, forced myself to take it seriously. After a few rounds of that, we did grow familiar. When Ivy heard, she cornered me by the coffee machine, surprised. So you've got a boyfriend now? I thought you were so hung up on Lucas you couldn't accept anyone else. That single sentence shamed me. I tugged at the corner of my mouth. The past is the past, people have to move forward. Then bring him to my birthday this weekend. Lucas will probably be happy you found someone, Ivy said, smiling. I nodded. All right. Ivy's birthday banquet, Lucas spent serious money on it, lavish and grand. Derek and Lucas came face to face. Derek greeted him eagerly with President Sterling and a handshake. Lucas sized him up, glanced at me, and gave a lukewarm nod. After the toasts and laughter, everyone moved to Riverside to watch the drone fireworks spectacle Lucas had arranged for Ivy, lighting up the entire South Bank. I watched Ivy and Lucas standing in the best viewing spot up ahead. I watched Ivy gaze at the fireworks while Lucas gazed tenderly at her, as though he could pluck the moon for her. I watched Lucas, so tall and striking now, slowly overlap with the high-spirited boy he'd once been. That day he'd said he would give me full ride patra. Nage and changed my life forever. Back then my gambling addict birth father had come to Riverdale again and again to drag me out, force me to quit, marry me off to a 50-year-old lame widower to cover his debts. That afternoon my father beat me at the school gate and hauled me away. No one dared intervene. Lucas saved me. He said, since I've said I'll sponsor you, of course I'll cover you. After that, Lucas helped me get rid of that birth father for good. It was sterling patronage that let me graduate and attend the college I wanted. From then on, my life gained color. I knew I was only collateral, just there so Ivy would accept his black titanium credit card, letting me tag along as errand girl and messenger. But the boy who'd dropped from the sky in my dreams was still the moon I looked up to. At this moment, under the blazing fireworks, I suddenly felt something inside me quietly dissolve. The company had an accident, a stage Ivy was in charge of collapsed and almost hit several clients. Clients and partners demanded compensation and cancelled contracts. Sterling Star was bombarded with complaints and a credibility crisis. Sterling HQ issued an ultimatum, produce an answer. Lucas called me to his office. Ivy was in his arms, crying in grievance. When Lucas saw me, his eyes hesitated, but when Ivy tugged his sleeve he spoke. Sophie, Ivy just got back from abroad. It's her first time managing a venue, so of course she's green. As deputy manager you should have assisted her properly, this wouldn't have happened. I tucked my lips in a trace of sarcasm. Everyone in planning knew Ivy vetoed every proposal I made. We can't let one incident ruin Ivy's reputation in the industry. She's meant for big things and needs clients to trust her. I can't let my dad think she's incompetent either. Your own reputation with clients has always been solid. One incident won't hurt you much. So, Sophie, let's say you were in charge, give HQ and the public an explanation. I'll make it up to you afterward. Listening, my expression didn't flicker. I wasn't surprised at all. Just like back at school, I'd played the same fall guy. Still, I couldn't help looking quietly at Lucas, hoping to catch even a flicker of regret. I only saw him avoid my gaze and soothe Ivy. Forget it. If Sophie won't, I'll take the fall. I'll just leave for Europe at once, save myself the humiliation. Ivy said it plaintively, pulling away to leave. Ivy. Lucas caught her, frowning at me. Sophie, is this so hard? Aren't you the best at putting out fires? You don't want to? I looked at Lucas's expectant, displeased face. I moved my lips. Fine. Lucas exhaled, coaxing Ivy. There, don't worry, Sophie will handle it. Those partners trust her. Sophie, thanks, Ivy said, giving me a small smile. I turned and left his office. I went to HQ. Chairman Sterling's folder smacked my head, followed by a torrent of curses. I was ordered to win back every partner, every client, cover every loss. I walked out of Sterling headquarters disheveled, then visited each partner and client one by one. I was mocked, sneered at, thrown out. I bowed and begged for forgiveness. Finally, I posted a statement on the Sterling Star website, admitted fault, and announced my resignation. My planning colleagues knew the truth and felt sorry for me, but none had the power to speak. I came to Lucas's office again. I know you've worked hard these days, but you don't need to quit. Take paid leave, go rest, he said. I shook my head. I want a real break. Lucas gave a helpless sigh. Then tell me when you want to come back. I didn't answer, I only said, I Venmo transferred money to your card, payback for your patronage and care. He straightened, stunned. I never wanted repayment, there's no need. I shook my head. It's only right, I've been saving to pay you back. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you for the words that once gave me a new life, for pulling me from danger. Thank you for letting me cut ties with you completely, with nothing left to miss. Lucas stared. Are you mad I asked you to cover for Ivy? I explained, it's her first job, a scandal would wreck her. You've been around ages, everyone trusts you. You handled the fallout perfectly. Why blow it up over something small? I looked at him calmly. Owing someone feels awful, I want peace of mind. This incident damaged Sterling Star's reputation. My resignation is the best public answer. Besides, I should keep my distance from you and Ivy so I don't affect you. Isn't that what you wanted? His face froze. You only work here. I've said my piece and wrapped things up. So, goodbye. With that I turned to go. Sophie. He stopped me. Seeing I wouldn't stay, he only added, if you ever need anything, find me. We've known each other too long to be strangers, okay? I gave a perfunctory nod and left. Back in planning, I was about to enter my office to pack when Ivy passed and called, Sophie, make me a coffee and bring it to my office. Find someone else, Manager Vance. I've already handed in my resignation, I said. Ivy froze for a second, then looked at me with a sneer. Resigned, so you can't fetch me coffee anymore? It was her way of reminding me that back at Riverdale, in Lucas's orbit, I'd routinely run those errands for her. I simply nodded, expression calm. I'm no longer obligated to make coffee for you, Manager Vance. My blunt refusal narrowed her eyes, she clearly hadn't expected it. Manager Vance, I'll get the coffee. Her assistant scurried toward the break room. I walked into the office, packed my things, and came back out. Ivy was waiting. She studied me with contempt and muttered, Sophie, you only got Lucas's patronage because of me. Now that you finally have some sense, stay away from circles that were never yours. I glanced back and smiled. Careful, Manager Vance, keep playing the part of someone too refined to care about money and you might forget your lines. Her face darkened, she shot me a glare. Amid a chorus of reluctant goodbyes from colleagues, I left the place where I'd spent 3 years. When Derek heard I'd slipped up at work and quit, he broke up with me. I'd expected it, he'd only dated me because my closeness to Lucas looked like a useful connection. A few days later, riding to the airport, I thumbed through Instagram. Lucas and Ivy had finally gone public. The photo showed them wrapped in each other's arms in the sea of blossoms he'd arranged for his declaration. Lucas had captioned it, at last, I waited until you. Ivy had written, when I looked back, you were always there. Beneath the posts, hearts and congratulations poured in. Congrats! True love wins. Lucas, you finally found the right one. I can swear, Lucas never loved any woman but you. I double-tapped both photos. Moments later Lucas texted. We're celebrating tonight. Ivy asked me to invite you. She says you two have known each other for years. Hearing your blessing in person would make the night perfect. I replied, no need. Your happiness is yours, my wish from here is just as sincere. Congratulations. He paused, then wrote, are you still upset about last time? When did you become so petty, Sophie? I answered, not at all. I'm seriously tied up. Congrats, that's all. Ivy, never one to miss a victory lap, texted too. She always enjoyed having me witness her triumphs, delighted in the contrast between her loftiness and my lowliness. I sent her a single congrats. Whatever followed, I ignored. Calls rang out unanswered. Adults, no need for blocking or deleting, just mute everything. Then the plane lifted off for Capital City, and I stepped into a new life. Beyond the window, clouds lay like bright paintings. The future would surely shine as well. A little over a year later, work brought me back to Riverdale. An old college friend was celebrating her birthday. I joined the party in a private booth. I slipped into the corridor to take a call when someone hailed me. Sophie, it really is you. Flynn, one of Lucas's frat brothers, walked up, surveying me in surprise. Been, what, a year? You vanished clean off the map. I gave a slight smile, nodding in greeting, then turned to go back. Hey, you know Lucas is furious, right? You ghosted the whole city, rarely answered his texts, so he blocked you, said if you were so tough, don't ever crawl back. Flynn chuckled. Didn't think you'd actually stay away a whole year. I pressed my lips together. I'm here on business. Excuse me. I nodded again and walked back to the booth. Flynn stayed outside, clicking his tongue. Well, look at the spine on her now. He still pulled out his phone. Lucas, guess who's at the bar? Sophie. After I wished my friend good night and stepped out, Lucas and his crew were blocking the hallway. He looked as if he'd rushed over. Spotting me, he cleared his throat and tried for a relaxed posture. Well, finally gracious enough to show your face? Why not just stay gone for good? He scoffed. My tone stayed level. Business trip. Sorry, I'm in a hurry. I moved to pass him. Sophie. He seized my arm, face dark. Still throwing your tantrum? I came in person, what more do you want? I tried to pull free. I'm not throwing anything. I'm leaving. He glared. This attitude isn't a tantrum? One little thing, and you quit, pay back every dime, disappear for a year, and now this sour face. Maybe I've spoiled you too much. I sighed in resignation. I haven't been brooding over the past. I simply did what I wanted, went where I wanted. I have my own life now. I don't need favors from you, we each live our own lives. I honestly don't get why you're angry. His eyes still bored into me. Sophie, you've sure grown a pair. How many years have we known each other? Who are you trying to impress with this whole stranger's act? I've given you plenty of chances, let your sudden vanishing slide, there's a limit to how long you can keep this up. I exhaled again. Lucas, I'm not throwing anything. We're adults, separate individuals with separate paths. I know how big a debt I owed you, the money I repaid can't measure it. But I never once defied you, whatever you asked, I did, until that last episode. I decided it was time to cut the cord. I'll always be grateful for your help, but I deserve a fresh start. Staying away, not disturbing you and Ivy, that's exactly what you wanted. So isn't it better this way, just casual acquaintances? His hand on my arm slackened. His buddies looked anywhere but at us. I turned to leave. He caught me again. Sophie, everyone knew how much you used to care. You think I'll buy this act? You're only sore because I'm with Ivy. I shook free again. That was the past, I've moved on. I told you, I'm not staging a drama, and I'm not demanding lifelong exile between us. I just think the distance we have now is fine. I really have to go. Goodbye. I walked away without another word. Sophie, if you're so tough, stay gone for good, let's see if I ever come looking. Geez, Lucas, if you want her to stay, maybe don't snarl at her, Flynn muttered. Yeah, man, you were kind of a jerk back then. Remember how Sophie was basically your and Ivy's maid? You ordered her around, and even though Ivy was on the same scholarship, Sophie was always treated like the help. Plus, you knew exactly how crazy she was about you, her eyes were all over you, it made people jealous, and you still treated her like some disposable stand-in you could sleep with. Ivy came back and you dumped Sophie without a second thought. You didn't spare her feelings at all. And that wasn't the end of it, you kept milking her, making her take the fall so Ivy could walk away clean. Honestly, who could stomach that? Sophie had more tolerance than the rest of us combined. She's finally willing to show up again. Do the decent thing, show her something, anything. Don't just chase her off again. The guys kept pounding him with it. Lucas felt a raw, swollen ache bloom beneath his ribs. It dawned on him that he had never once bothered to ask how she felt. All year he had missed her, and resented her for it. She used to treat him like royalty, then vanished without warning. His pride wouldn't let him chase her down. Yet every memory said one small surrender might be worth it. Someone that devoted to him could surely be coaxed back with a few soft words. She would be the same as before, a little flattery, and everything would reset. I went back to the hotel, took a shower, chatted with my boyfriend in bed, and said goodnight. I slept easily. The face I'd run into earlier didn't disturb me in the slightest. A year ago I'd moved to Eastbrook, sailed through the job interview, and met the man I'm with now. Life has been on a steady, even keel. The next morning I stepped outside the hotel and saw Lucas coming toward me with a bouquet. Sophie, where to? I'll drive you. He held out the flowers. I tugged the corner of my mouth. What is this? With a sigh he lowered the bouquet. Sophie, I was wrong to make you cover for Ivy. It's been a year, your anger should have cooled. Let's stop acting like strangers. Can't things be the way they used to be? I shook my head, genuinely at a loss. I'm not angry about that, Lucas. I just feel it's all in the past, no need to drag it out, and no need to circle back. I'm fine the way things are now. I said everything I had to say last time. His face darkened again. Sophie, that's enough. I came to you, apologized on my own. Are you really going to keep playing hard to get? I sighed inside. I don't need an apology. I'm not trying to act coy. What else do I have to say for you to understand? I considered for a second. Doing this, doesn't Ivy mind? He paused. Ivy and I are done. Surprise lifted my brows, but I didn't ask for details, it wasn't my business. His phone rang. He glanced, I caught th. E-name, Ivy. He frowned and declined. It rang again, he declined again. I couldn't be bothered, so I turned to leave. Sophie. He caught my arm. I was tired of it, yet I couldn't really snarl at him, that would feel like ingratitude. He sighed. Ivy and I have broken up and gotten back together more times than I can count. Every split felt like a performance, a way to test me. She isn't as calm as she pretends. She's scared the game will slip, so whenever I stay silent she panics and starts calling. She's different from the picture I'd built in my head, nothing like I thought. The truth? I wasn't interested in hearing this. I already knew what Ivy was. Lucas just never bothered to find out before falling for her. I'm going to be late for work, I can't stand here and talk. I tried to step away. Sophie. He still held on, looking at me. Stop this. Why don't we try being a couple, just you and me? The words left him before he'd thought them through. I froze too. I found him absurd, almost funny. Because it was so ridiculous I didn't even feel angry. I simply said, expressionless, sorry, I already have a boyfriend. What? That's impossible. He looked stunned. You loved me that much, there's no way you'd have someone else. I gave a bitter smile. He had always known how desperately I once loved him. Everyone had known. And he'd taken that love for granted, summoning and dismissing me on a whim. His confidence rebuilt itself, he snorted. You don't have to stage some fake boyfriend for me. Sophie, you know I'm not patient. Put the games, let's try being together, alright? There was actual anticipation in his voice, as if he were curious how dating Sophie would feel. I told you, I already have a boyfriend. My voice was cold. I walked away without looking back. After finishing my workday I returned to the hotel, and ran straight into the last person I wanted to see. Sophie. Ivy stormed over, hand already swinging to slap me. I caught her wrist and shoved her away. She stumbled backward, almost falling. That shook her, she glared. You dare push me, Sophie? My tone was icy. You struck first. Am I not allowed to defend myself? She ground her teeth. Have you no shame? You used to cling to Lucas and me like a piece of gum, and when that failed you latched on as his kept mistress, refusing to leave his side. Now Lucas and I are together again, yet here you are playing the other woman, throwing yourself at him in public. Her voice carried. People crowded outside the entrance, pointing fingers and muttering about me. I slapped her. Ah! Ivy shrieked, clutching her cheek in disbelief. You hit me? You smear me in front of everyone, did you expect me to smile? I don't care how messy your breakups and makeups with Lucas are. Show me one shred of proof I'm chasing or seducing him. You still shove blame onto me every time. Too bad your old power trip is useless, I've already walked away. My voice was clipped. Onlookers calmed down, rumors without evidence collapse fast. For once Ivy was speechless, she narrowed her eyes. Don't forget, I'm the reason Lucas gave you that full right patronage in the first place. Otherwise you'd be buried in some ditch. I answered evenly, I seized that chance myself. I told you, if you don't take Sterling's black titanium credit card, Lucas will give it to me, knowing you'd grab it so I couldn't. That's how I got a foot in the door. I ran your errands not because I owed you, but because I understood the game. Lucas was obsessed with you, so I accepted the role. It was repayment for the favor, not a life sentence. Remember that. Her face twisted. You crawled out of our lives, why crawl back? You can't quit Lucas, can you? You're hoping to stick around as his casual mistress again. I laughed once. Save your lies. I'm here for work, and I have a boyfriend. I looked her up and down. Your pristine, money is dirty image is crumbling in front of Luke. And that's your problem. Don't vent your panic on an innocent bystander. I can't keep Lucas for you. Ivy flushed and raised her hand again, rage in her eyes. This time, her wrist was caught by Lucas, who had hurried after her. Ivy, what are you doing? He asked, stunned. The moment Ivy saw him, her face crumpled into grievance. Lucas, why are you ignoring me? It's because Sophie came back to pester you, isn't it? She's the one destroying what we had. Lucas's expression froze. He flicked a glance at me, then told her, Ivy, Sophie isn't pestering me. You and I are already over, and this time I don't want a reunion. So they've actually split, and she's still grabbing the other woman. The onlookers clicked their tongues. Why? How come? Ivy wailed, refusing to let go. You used to love me so much. You only bankrolled Sophie because of me. Why don't you love me now? Lucas pinched the bridge of his nose. Maybe what I loved back then was just the illusion I built in my head, and the one who really slipped into my heart without my noticing. He suddenly looked straight at me. I shuddered, spun on my heel, and hurried into the hotel. Lucas tried to call after me, but Ivy latched on, entangling him. For days Lucas had been texting to apologize. He seemed convinced that because he'd finally lowered his proud head and told me how much he missed me, I ought to take the hint and forgive him. His frat brothers chimed in one after another, claiming his relationship with Ivy had been broken long ago. They all said they'd seen through her. She wasn't the lofty girl who scorned his money. On the contrary, she cared about it like life itself. They had plenty to unload. The real killer was her habit of wanting both saintly credit and luxury reward. She'd swear diamonds meant nothing, then sigh that another stone looked better, the most expensive one. When they hung out, she'd chirp anything's fine about food or games, only to nitpick until the priciest Tyan landed in front of her. In front of the other guy's girlfriends she had to stand on a pedestal, bragging that Lucas treated his brothers as equals while she still needed to flaunt status. Outwardly disdainful, secretly ravenous. She looked down on waitresses who were working their way through college, spitting remarks so vile the brothers happened to overhear before she'd smooth her face back into prim detachment. It all showed that once she'd become Lucas's girlfriend, she'd drifted into the clouds. I wasn't surprised. After faking it for years, anyone would tire. She must have decided the heat was perfect, that Lucas was wrapped around her finger and the net could tighten, only to panic when she realized he still wasn't sealed bait. His brothers kept repeating, this whole year Lucas has missed you like crazy. He brings you up all the time. You two were so good together. Expressionless, I muted every last one of them. Lucas texted again, Sophie, do you know why I fell so hard for Ivy back then? That day, just off campus, I saw her feeding a stray cat with a strip of ham. She told the cat she'd skipped dinner to buy it that treat. The scene looked like a painting. I ran into her several times after that. She never gave me a second glance, even sneered at the fact I had money. I thought she was adorable, refreshingly different. Only later did I learn from her friend that the cat feeding was staged. She was waiting for me to show up. Everything that followed was just image crafting, and I swallowed it whole. Sophie, was I an idiot? I itched to reply, you're not an idiot, you just let your eyes hijack your brain. If Ivy hadn't been so pretty, would Lucas have done so much, chased so hard? But by now the theatrics bored him, that was all. I couldn't be bothered to answer. No point. Finally he wrote, Sophie, I realize I've never looked honestly at my own heart. After Ivy and I got together, even if she'd stayed the same, things felt forced. I kept thinking of you, more and more, remembering the days when you were beside me, and knowing that's what I truly wanted. Sophie, I think I'm in love with you. My face blank, I typed a line and set a time and place to meet. Lucas arrived, flowers in hand, every accessory on point. But when he saw me walk in leading another man, everything about him turned to stone. I introduced them. Lucas, this is my boyfriend, Chase. Chase, this is Lucas, the patron who once sponsored and helped me, and also my friend. Hearing my wording, Lucas stared, stunned. Chase extended his hand. Sterling, thank you for the help you gave Sophie. If there's ever anything I can do for you, I won't hesitate. Lucas somehow made it through the meal, his mind seemed stuffed with static. After we said goodbye, he snapped awake, caught up, and grabbed my arm. Sophie, we need to talk. Desperation poured off him. I frowned at his agitation. Chase let go of my hand, giving us space. I'll wait by the car. I nodded. Panic like I'd never seen shimmered in Lucas's eyes, as if something real was slipping away for good. Sophie, you're lying to me, right? He's another guy you brought to fool me, just like before. You don't actually love him, right? He blurted. I looked at him calmly. You saw what happened. Throughout dinner, Chase and I had interacted like any couple truly in love, an act you can't fake. Lucas's face paled again. He shook his head. I don't believe it. You loved me so much, everyone knew you only had eyes for me. My voice stayed level. I don't deny I once loved you, Lucas. But that was in the past. Any feeling can be used up. I won't stay rooted in place while someone decides whether to love me. The moment love truly dies, I pull out faster than anyone. A year ago was my complete wake-up. I walked away and stopped loving you. He swayed. I'll always remember the help you gave me, but that's all, Lucas. Let's both move forward. I've already tack. And the next step. I'm not circling back. Softly finished, I turned and walked toward Chase, who was waiting. Lucas watched my retreating figure, dazed, regret spilling in a whisper. Sophie, I thought you would always be there. That's why I took you for granted, why I overlooked you. I believed you'd love me forever, no matter what I did, whenever I turned around, you'd be behind me. I fell in love with you long ago, Sophie. But now, it's too late. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed it, double tap and share with friends. We look forward to your comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more gripping stories. See you next time.